Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nathan Gaming, where today we are continuing our journey in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Alright, so last we left off, and mind you, it's been a week because I've had shit to do. But anyways, the last we left off, you wouldn't know that because, you know, again, all these videos are pre-recorded. You're not gonna know that specifically, but anyways, yeah, so last we left off, we were storming the bridge to finally stop, what's his name? Void Devere, I believe his name was. I can never get his name right, let's be honest. And we learned that someone had assassinated Valencius, what was her name? Something von Valencius, and we tried to determine who could have possibly have done it. We couldn't figure it out, but my, of course, assumption was that, oh, it was Adelthrod, because Adelthrod is the kind of guy who probably would be in the best position to do that, right? Well, as it turns out, maybe not so much. In fact, it really seems to turn out that Adelthrod was actually just a really good guy, and you know, I was just calling him out for no reason. But anyways, yeah, he even sacrificed himself, and even Void the Veer was even genuinely surprised by the fact that the Valencia's chick died. So that tells me a few things. It means that there was a third party involved in this that I don't know how to quantify, nor do I know what their objective was, other than to assassinate Valencius. And so that adds an interesting layer of mystery, doesn't it, to the murder? Because from the way it's framed, at least in the murder, he was invited in, and after staying in that chamber for a bit, he then suddenly kills Valencius, and then immediately turns around, shoots that Mort dude in the face, right? And so that really begs the interesting question. Who could have possibly have done it? It's like a game of Clue. Only you actually have no fucking clue what the hell is going on. That goes to pretty much standard for most of this franchise, because, you know, like, as someone who's getting into the lore of 40k, I can definitely tell you that the Ogre not actually being half human, half orc hybrids, and learning that they're actually just a subsect of humanoid that was just that evolved due to extreme, or rather poor conditions as a result of several centuries of having to be stranded on a planet during the Great Crusade. I mean, well, maybe not the Great Crusade, but, you know, like during the time of that expansion, you know, what they call the Dark Ages. So, yeah, it's very fascinating that that's a thing. But anyways, I was almost half convinced that Ogren and Orcs had a connection, but oh well. That just goes to show what I know. But anyways, enough of that. I'm just currently making my drink right now, and as soon as I'm done doing that, I will head into the game. But yeah, I've been learning a lot about the 40k lore, and a lot of the lore that I'm learning is, I mean, it oftentimes it raises more questions than answers, like the fact that none of the events that are cataloged is, you know, like, are ever dated. Like, we know that, for example, the Horus Heresy took place at a certain time before, you know, like, a certain time 10,000 years ago, but we don't know how long the events were and how, you know, like, expanded those events were in terms of, like, we don't know how long the Horus Heresy took place, right? Do we know? Is there, like, a specific date on that? Because when you go and you try to look up specific dates for certain lore material, it's just like, oh, it might have happened during this time. It's like, okay, no specific details. Nope. Well, I guess we gotta guesstimate that then. But yeah, that's just been my roller coaster with the 40K nonsense. I am enjoying Warhammer 40,000 as a franchise. I never actually knew that Warhammer was this cool. I really didn't. You know, like when I first started out, you know, like as a Star Wars fan, and then moved on to, you know, like anime, and then watching several other things, you know, engaging in different forms of media. You know, like I never really thought 40K was that interesting, because when you look at the fucking blueberries, you know, you're thinking to yourself, these guys look stupid in this bulky looking ass armor. You know, like that's, you know, 40K doesn't do itself any justice, because you can't, it's hard to really sell that grim dark future vibe when when the main, what's the best way to, when your poster children are essentially like giant Smurfs. I get why they chose the color blue, by the way, because it's easier to paint on minifigures. But still, it's when your entire franchise is built and predicated on the fact that your quote-unquote knights are are basically blue metal Smurfs. It kind of just well, it's not that easy of a sell. It just isn't. I mean, when I was looking at those guys, I was thinking to myself, man, these guys look stupid in this big old bulky power armor. Like, what do they look like underneath all of that anyways? Are they even human? Right? You know, like, you have questions. And, you know, like, they also have the Mega Man feet. Like, those Mega Man boots. They have those, like, big old bulky looking as, legging pauldron things that just don't make sense, and why anyone would want to put that on a fucking 8-foot tall humanoid is beyond me, but it's like, that's what they did. But yeah, so Warhammer, man. Turns out Astartes are actually pretty cool. Also, Astartes is a pretty baller ass name, I will say. The only other thing that I question about this franchise, with me specifically, is, well, we know this well, the only other thing I question really about this franchise is, why is it so hard for companies to potentially get this right? Right? And let's be honest here, Warhammer is one of those franchises that have yet to really get its own sort of like fall from grace, right? Because every other franchise so far has been scooped up by some garbage corporation, right? And has gotten their fall from grace. How long until Warhammer gets theirs? That's how we'll know that Warhammer graduated from being a niche franchise that everybody loves to then being something that has, like, a few real bad stinkers, and then suddenly the entire franchise is, like, garbage in comparison to everything else, right? At least everything made by big, lofty corporations, right? Because, you know, Disney's got to make that money, right? It's got to get that cheddar, you know? We all know that Mickey Mouse, it's all about that greens. All about that cheddar. But anyways, enough of that shit. Yeah, you know, like, I hope Warhammer doesn't... I hope they continue to have the same level of success and the same level of fan appreciation for their franchise as everybody wants this franchise to be. Like, everybody who is a fan of this franchise, I imagine, does not want this franchise to truly change in any real unorthodox manner. And that is entirely understandable. As someone who is a fan of Star Wars, as someone who is a fan of a lot of franchises, or someone who got into franchises due to the exposure of the good shit that wasn't any of the new stupid shit that people are making, you know, like, I totally get it. I totally get it. Like, I'm right there with all of you. Like, just, I don't I've seen enough of these franchises crash and burn to the point to where, like, I could not even be bothered, right? If 40K gets anything right, it's to not hire millennials. Do not hire millennial writers. Do not hire a writers guild. Do not hire garbage, neon hair-colored, butterfly glasses wearing pieces of amphibian shits into your company, and you will be fine. You can do that, and you will be fine. And if you also want to find out which one of the ones are, you know, a bit more, you know, they're not as easily discernible, just go on their fucking Twitter profiles and see if they have, like, pronouns in their bio. That's another good one. Because let's be honest, folks, as much as people would like to know if you are probably a quote-unquote trans individual, I mean, let's be honest, if you're trans, you probably don't want to be remembered as someone who is trans. Let's just be honest there. I mean, like, oh yeah, I want to be a girl. That was my calling in life. I wanted to be a girl. I'm going to go ahead and transition into being a woman. And then you transition to being a woman. You're like, okay, I am going to be a woman. My name is Charla, and I will go by, I have to remember to go by her and she, her instead of he, him, and you know, like now. And then it turns out, oh, well, everybody knows that you're trans, so now everybody expects you to put she, her in the bio, right? And it's just like, but I mean, I wanted to be a woman. I didn't want to be recognized as someone who is trans. I just wanted to be a woman. I wanted to just assimilate into this thing comfortably without it being a big deal, right? I mean, that's how I imagine people who transition would like things to go. Because I know I've seen I've seen the Reddit posts, I've seen the comments, you know, across the interwebs. I know how this shit is. You know, people don't actually want to be called out for essentially being a transformer, right? Anyways, okay, before I say anything that's too controversial, it's going to get me canceled online, I'm going to just go ahead and just take this sip and then just hop right into this. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Let's hurry up before I stand on some landmines today. Boy. You know, and it's funny, too, because I knew one trans person that I didn't even know was trans, by the way. Like, I've always known the trans thing for its botched, well, for its more so its botched failures and surgeries than its successes. Like, I was so convinced this dude was a dude that when I learned that it wasn't a dude, I was like, oh, that's surprising. That's very surprising. It was like a teacher in school. And I'm like, oh, you were originally a woman? That's surprising. I genuinely did not know that. And I even had conversations with this person about how, like, my only exposure with trans people is literally the botched examples that I've seen online, so I assumed that that was the case. That guy must have the patience of a saint, because I tell you, man, that when I was talking about certain topics, you know, like he was pretty cool with it. I mean, granted, he was also the school fucking, you know, like, he was also the student body counselor, you know, like he was a counselor at our school, but, you know, again, you know, that man must have had a patience of a saint, because there were a lot of things that I talked about with him that I'm just like, you know what? I could talk about him with just about anything, and he is literally required to listen to me and also potentially document the things that I'm saying, but he is not supposed to disclose any of that to anyone. He's generally there just to be a receptacle for stupid shit, right? For stupid ideas. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make his life a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna shoot the shit with him, and I'm gonna talk about so many weird, out-of-pocket topics and some of the most bizarre sort of like ideas and questions that he's probably going to have a brain aneurysm trying to navigate these questions and try not to lose his fucking mind, right? Has a patience of a saint. Let me tell you. Anyways, but yeah, enough of that. Let's get into it, shall we? I'm in a good mood today. I'm on my vacation. I am on my vacation from work. Fuck my job, by the way. But I am on vacation from work, and I am going to dedicate a lot of time recording videos for all of y'all to enjoy. So, hope you're ready for that. Alright. Because, man, I have an entire week to play Rogue Trader. It's going to be amazing. Alright, let's jump into it, folks. Let us continue our story. What? If no context in the list seems to fit, then we recommend the following steps next time to specify the context. Point out the problem area, Alt B. My game refused to start? Huh? Yeah. No. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. What's going on here? Can't access part of unit part companion owner is missing. Kingmaker entity system. Entities base entity parts manager. Kingmaker entity. Kingmaker entity. Mechanics, I guess? Okay, hang on, let me see here. No, we got them. And I haven't played this game long enough to have mods. Great, it's already been like, what? 18 minutes in, and we're already having technical difficulties. And we were just on this nice little rant and conversation. Okay. Let's just try loading straight from the file itself, shall we, folks? Oh, we're making progress. %. You know what? I probably should have done that, but oh well. I'll wait until we get into the game for a quick second before I do it, because I just want to see if it'll load, and I don't want to fuck it up. All right. Sweet! We are in the game. All right. One moment, please. All right, sorry about that. It was just a quick second. Let's do it. Alrighty.
I always keep my options open.
Ah, so that's how it's set up. Okay. But yeah, so Adolthred sacrificed himself, well, you know, to fight Void to Fear. And then as it turns out, you know, Adolthred ran into the stupid circle. you know, like a dumbass, and got turned into an abomination, a chaos spawn. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he was expecting. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but, you know, he said he was gonna die anyway, so I guess it's one way to waste your life. I guess we're going this way.
The air. Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Oh, well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
The white-haired man with sickly pale skin salutes you. How did you people survive? We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the warp. Your words seem to knock the officer out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing. One of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
How did you people survive in here? That's actually a good question.
Must have been Providence. It better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind the cogitators. Then, I prayed for our rescue.
What must I do?
Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report. Oh, blast it all to the void! Translation is a craft, not something that can be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, Master. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Oh, please, hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
That's a very funny way of saying fucking shit. I don't know. It's a very fucking funny way of saying shit. I don't know. Just assume the position. Okay, what the fuck is this? The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents, invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same, and is taking on the guise of Theodora. But the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire. The other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp.
Who are you to oppose destiny itself for the sake of lives that are not your own? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world. Pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. A muddled, erratic, pointless tangle.
Alright, so I'm assuming Zinch must have had a hand in this. and resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all of these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. You are to blame for Theodora's death. I am saving my people. Do your worst, but you cannot stop me. Be gone, Phantom. You are to blame for Theodora's death.
I am the beginning and the end, and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Huh. That sounds like a premonition. You are definitely a Zinch demon. Your head begins to spin and a viscous drops slither down your cheeks. You blink, and you are no longer looking at Theodora. It is the traitor, Voigdivir, or Voigdivir. Just as fluid and ephemeral as the previous apparition, the same terrifying voice seethes from his lips.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
Huh. I noticed that the weapon isn't changing, so I'm assuming that whoever this is the actual character and model. And not so much the just an apparition. That, or they just haven't bothered to change out the weapon when they brought up Theodora's model. I have no idea. Anyways, let's go and repeat that. That one sounded like a mouthful. Alright, your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you, and the weapon of our return to me. Fascinating. So what you're saying is that by leaving the warp, I am essentially helping you resurrect, and I am leading you to your own salvation as a result. That almost sounds like an excuse not to get out of the warp, right? That almost sounds like an excuse not to get out of the warp. But I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. In fact, give me one more second. Back. Alright. Let's see.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
Fuck you, whoever you are. A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson, purple. The images replaces one another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty. The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
Seneschal, the navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
Ravor turns around and looks up at you. He hesitates for a moment, then addresses Abelard, who is standing next to you.
The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Seneschal, we could tell us now. Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
Oh no, these fuckers don't know, do they? Well, they're about to get a rude awakening.
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision,
After waiting out the first wave of shocked cries, Abelard glances at you and continues. Say nothing. No, Abelard, stop. I refuse. I'm gonna say nothing.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live. The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
Ah, cutscene.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained, for the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived, and through the strength of his resolve, saved those who were counting on him for protection.
Fascinating. You completed the prologue. I know, right? 3 fucking videos in, and we just now beat the prologue. That's probably a good indication of just how long of a fucking series this is probably going to be. Oh boy. But you know what? I'm here for it. I am absolutely down. This story is interesting. And I am kind of curious about where it's going to go. I also want to play games like this because you get more snippets of lore and you get more interesting digest of that lore through this type of exposure than you will in most other fucking mediums. Especially since Space Marines 2 is very fucking light on it, right? And also Dark Tide. And among other games. So, yeah. Pretty good way to do this. Deep shadows of weariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake you over from the head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship. Open the cargo management screen to learn about the cargo on your flagship, the amount, the types, and the percentage of cargo being filled. You cannot help but notice that the Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating At the old officer's confusion, seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. Huh. Is this going to be a problem down the road? It most likely will, but still. You cannot help but notice that the Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. Are the voices breaking again? I think they are. I think the voices are breaking again. Or maybe the entire prologue was just fully voiced. I have no idea. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy. Jesus. While others go unfilled entirely, and then the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How do we come to lose so many officers? What is on the agenda for this meeting? Have you succeeded in tracking down Void Devere? Wait, Abelard, there is an altogether more pressing problem. I do not wish to be the rogue trader. I am ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. What is on the agenda for this meeting? Yeah, I figured this would be a loaded question. Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort. Even so far as you personally negotiated with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses. Your Lordship, take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Have you succeeded in tracking down Void Devere? No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him. Any mutineers who may still be skulking on the ship's many corridors. But frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now 1 shuttle short. I am afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears that the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on the board was our own Master of Whispers. Great. Abelard grimaces. I am ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. Still magnificent after all this crap, huh? That looks like one Mechanicus among them. Now there's a pair of eyes pour into you. The expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention officers, you have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Cornelius von Valencius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard? Let's see. Yawn. I haven't the time to be listening to every last officer on this hulking rig. Abelard, give me a press. What are the major problems and what needs to be done? That sounds like a very interesting answer to that. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard? As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Victus Sori Ota of the Ptoleman line, our new Vox Master. It is an honor to serve your lordship. The Vox Master the Vox Master offers a deep bow. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Ravor, the master helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. The bearded man with pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face gives a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's all as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum, Jonrus Donrock, or Donrook, whatever. I'm going to say Donrook, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. High factotum Jonrus Donrook. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heaviest man with oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows. I think that's how you say that word. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard. The Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship. And lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnisci, which is going to be this guy here. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drive Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the tech priests and merchandandrites. I guess that's how you say that. Mechandandrites. Oh, that's how it's called. A tentacle-like robotic limb, prosthetic surgically attached to the spine. That makes sense. Megadendrites. Anyways. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. I serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. Alright. Okay. Alrighty, let's start with the one right off the bat that probably is the most important. Infernus Master, give me your reports. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He could take the heat, so to speak. Alrighty. Drive Master, I will hear from you now. Lord Captain. The foe... Well, actually, I should probably read that one first. A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the Tech Priest's scarlet hood. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void should destroy the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed. Thank the Omnissiah, but its spirits mourn its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. Sounds like a personal problem, if you ask me. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engineers Prime, Engineer Prime, Overseer, and spiritual authority of all Tex priests on board, fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained a part of him. A most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard who is experienced in comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement as soon as possible. Would someone care to translate the esteemed Drive Master's words? That would be the biggest dick move. That is a step higher than... That is a step higher than telling Jonathan Graham in Fallout New Vegas to be like, yeah, John, shoot Captain Gobbledygook in the face. Oh my god. Maybe it's not a step higher, but god, it's around that range. It's so funny. I see, thank you. The Tech Priest bows her head. High Factotum, what have you to report, Master Helmsman, Master of Ordnance? Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our engineer prime and navigator, who fell in battle. We have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what will happen first. Our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your Lordship, if you allow me to interject. When we arrived in this system, my crew followed the standard protocols and conducted count of all the valuable communication channels in this region. One of them was Navis Nobilite Station. The station maintains complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck. A true blessing from the God Emperor. Indeed. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull, as if in response to what you just heard, you understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the demon that appeared before you during the translation to real space echo in your mind. I am the will of the Weaver of Destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. Clearly this demon is a Zinch fan and is all about Destiny. So much so that they're probably a big sim for Destiny. They probably send her fucking all kinds of donations online. They probably donate to her Patreon, her OnlyFans. You know, this person's got a real hard-on for Destiny. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, I love this helmsman already. In slightly less shitty news, we can go around and around this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last. And if any thick-ass grok shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't you worry on that score. I love this helmsman. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone, we've got no able crew. No, Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship's in ruins. Every second officer is dead. And now we've got a Green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to Void knows where? Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer! Damn. Abelard grunts. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your lordship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides, find a replacement, that is. For we already have one lined up. Another decision. Stand down, release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness. Execute him. Experienced Master of Ordnance are few and far between, so for that reason, he may remain in post. I leave his punishment at your discretion. Let's see, I'm gonna go with Iconoclast. I'm gonna be specking into this hard. Stand down, and plus it's also just, you know, it's the good guy option. At least it's the proletarian option, let's be honest. Stand down, release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we have endured. Abelard stares unblinkingly at the Master of Ordnance. Cease your sniveling. You disgrace yourself and your entire clan. Enough. The hysterics are over. Let us resume. +2 Iconoclast. The Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is the picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. Damn. Yeah, I probably just saved his bacon there. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was a dickhead. He kind of was a dickhead. But I'm not gonna say he was a dickhead because that's, I mean, he was just saying what we were all thinking, right? You know, I wouldn't put any sort of shame on someone who just says what everybody already knows, right? Someone's got to do it, right? We need to have that one guy who will say what everyone's thinking. Otherwise, people are just going to keep it to themselves, and then no one's going to question it, right? And when people don't question things, that's how those things become the norm. All right? So, yeah. I'm not going to punish someone for pointing out the obvious. High Factotum, what have you to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given to the tech priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and, unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rykod Minoris. However, the whole system, in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Especially true given Caligo's Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets, grumbles Abelard, frowning. To summarize, we are up shit creek. Basically. We are up shit creek. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new engine seer, prime, and navigator. Is that all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these three immediate problems. The massive void port on the edge of the Coronis Expanse, a notorious hotbed of vice, trade, and rogue trader intrigue. I see. Like a hub world, maybe? I don't know. What can you tell me about the system in which we are currently find ourselves? I cede to the Voxmaster on this point, Mistress Tolleman. We are in the Rykod star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in this system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer. It seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system, and Rykod Minoris itself is also now responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seems to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging. But without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Navis Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on. Thank you all for your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute you as one. Your lordship, there is one thing, a confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, Abelard hesitates. Your internally esteemed predecessor brought the ship here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything. And I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. I will be honored to fulfill the Inquisitor's commission. What is it he asked of Theodora? I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You were referring to the contents of that note, I presume. I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You are referring to the contents of that note, I presume. Yes, quite right. XC. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Henrix von Kalax, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in this system, and that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall, in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilite or the governor of Rykon Minoris, may know something. That is all of it. Your Lordship, you have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valencia's Protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this new mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he is able to offer some words of encouragement. Ah, Argenta's here. Idira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Sister of Battle grimly nods toward Idira. The Psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judge that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Idira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word bursts from her lips. Daybreak. Idira, come to your senses. I will bring a wish to heal. If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. Idira, come to your senses. Damn it. Idira presses her finger to her temples in desperation. Your Lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn. And it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Telas? No, not yet, anyways. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it. All right? Okay, that sounded normal for a second. Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, I find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker bitten lips stretch into a wry smile. If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. Yes, it is an hour in. It's about fucking time we get to work, right? You guys ready for this? The long haul of playing a fucking CRPG? Oh fuck, where the hell am I? Oh god, where the fuck am I? So this is my throne. Not bad for a throne. A thin, pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment. And you see the grate of quietly humming vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in respectfully greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Ooh, level 70 fellowship. Remind me who you are. Who are the Foxmaster's duties? Your appearance is unique. You are a Voidborn, are you not? Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. Fellowship test succeeded. The Foxmaster nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding. It is done, Lord Captain. Gain 44 experience. Except we didn't actually get to choose what we say, huh? That's a shame. Attention all crew members. We are so boned. We are so fucked. Thank you. Truly inspirational words, Captain. How would we survive without you? You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. God damn. Our character's a badass. Your appearance is unique. You are a Voidborn, are you not? It's probably rude to ask, but you never know. It shouldn't matter in this world, right? I mean, I can think of worse things to do or say in this world, right? My appearance comes from my heritage. Generations after generations of people who spent their entire lives in the depths of this void ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our home, but the same can be said about many denizens of the Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are the Voidborn. Not to be confused with the Dustborn, because nobody wants to be the Dustborn, right? Nobody wants to be the Dustborn. Nobody wants to be whatever the fuck that was. Alright, I need to stop. I'm making jabs. I've been making jabs this entire fucking recording. I can't. I gots to not do this. I gots to not make so many jabs. It's just terrible. Now, let's be honest. This is... I'm pretty much making them out of sound mind and of conscious effort. This is... If I have nothing else, I just want everyone to know that I am a tad opinionated about certain things. One of those things being that games are shit for a reason. And even if you have the best intentions making them, if they come from a place of stupidity, I'm going to call it out as such. And let's be honest, folks. Dustborn was... I watched the FaZe Girls play it, okay? I watched the FaZe Girls from FaZe Connect play it, and let me fucking tell you something, okay? That game was a fucking travesty. And I don't even know where to begin with that fucking thing. Everyone thinks of one game in their mind when they think of, like, the worst game you could possibly make. Dustborn is quickly becoming this generation's worst game you could possibly make thing that has ever existed. Alright. You can all have your own personal game that you think of, that you immediately see as, yeah, this is just a shit game, right? Whether it's like Ride to Hell, Sex with Hitler, or some other weird shit, you know? Or it's the fucking E.T. game, Boomer's Generation Past, or some other nonsense, right? You can think of any other game under the sun. But without a doubt, Dustborn is Generation Z's. It is the Zoomer generations. It is Generation Alpha's generational. Alright? It is the generational shit game that everyone will look back and remember as being, yeah, that was a terrible fucking game. Alright. Anyways, moving on. Where does the word Voidborn come from? Because we are the children born of the void between the stars, be it the womb of traveling vessels, an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station. Low gravity, voyages through the warp, and the countless dangers of space travel. Everything others hate and dread is second nature to us. You traverse the madness. We were born in it. Tell me about the lives of the Voidborn and my crew. To us the groans and creaks and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to a world dwellers. Oh, I see. So, yeah, ships are your world. You guys are basically steampunks, aren't you? To us the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to world dwellers. We hear the ship breathe, know what it is feeling and thinking. We are part of the ship, just like it is part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order and prevent mutiny. Others serve as shepherds and support the crew. Some devote themselves to mending the body and spirits of the vessel. Most of the Voidborn are members of a large void ship dynasties that bear responsibility for certain aspects of the ship's life. For 300 years, the main branch of the Ptolemon dynasty has produced the ship's Vox Masters, and most of our subordinates come from the cadet houses of that dynasty. How do you find life on the ship? How do others on the ship treat you? Have you ever left the ship? How do you find life on the ship? Life has been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Vox Master, and only the best in the dynasty can become one. Scratchy throat. That came out of nowhere all of a sudden. It's been happening since yesterday. I don't like the indication of that, by the way. I'm on my vacation. The last thing I want is to get fucking sick. Anyways, by virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. Our family claims a spacious section for its demesne, whatever the fuck that is. Whatever the fuck that word is. I also enjoy long walks through the narrow and dimly lit corridors of the ship, listening to the sounds of her activity, falling asleep and waking up to the chanting of hymns, and admiring the stars beyond, of course. How do the others on the ship treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during longer voyages. Vigdis hesitates before continuing. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp gem caused all the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune, and hoping to restock the larder with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira, Talas, not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear of her was even greater than their fear of the Voidborn. Looks like you are close friends with Idira. Webs of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of Vigdis's eyes, the only hint that the Vox Master is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage, but you see, many consider Idira to be different. I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company, discussing regicide over a glass of Amasek. That's pretty cool. See? Now this is how you do this shit right. This is how you do this shit right. What's that? Your crew's different? They have differences and it makes them ostracized from the other crew members? And you know what? That's fucking sad, man. It's great that you're not wearing it like it's a goddamn badge of honor and trying to rake us over the coals with it. You're certainly not beating us over the head with, look at me, look at how different and quirky I am, stick. See, this is how you do it right. And also, you don't shove the trials and tribulations of what it means to be a particular type of individual in any type of media setting as like the penultimate issue of your character. All right, the Voxmaster serves a purpose. The Voxmaster also comes from a line of other Voxmasters who also are Voidborn and have their own lore. That makes them fundamentally more interesting than I am different, I struggle. Please identify with me. Or you're racist. Except Idira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It is good I can still look at her in my own way. I don't know what you mean by that, but you know, you're probably a good friend. You're probably the best a friend that anyone could ask. Because you're at least respectable, right? You are respecting her position. You are respecting the fact that she's being more closed off, and you are not pushing the issue further. You are very much respecting her position and also her emotional frame of mind. That takes a level of character understanding and depth and self-awareness that I don't think most people today have. Not very many people have this type of quality, ladies and gentlemen. Let us give a pat on the back for Voxmaster Vigdis for being the former, for being the alternative, for being so unlike the fucking generations after the boomers. Voxmaster Vigdis, perception test, succeeded. Interpreting the Voxmaster's emotions based on a half face and a Vox-modulated voice is no easy task, but you managed to catch the undercurrents in Vigdis's words. The Voxmaster is not merely saddened by her rift with Idira, she is devastated by it. That's actually sad. Hold on. That's actually sad. I actually feel hurt reading that. Just like, oh, no. Nah, the quiet person is feeling sad. Oh, fuck. I feel that one already. As a loner myself, when you feel genuinely wronged or devastated by an event or something that involves another person, it hits hard. I get this. I get this. This sucks. I actually feel like I want to try and help this person now. I'm actually emotionally entangled in this now. I want to actually help Vigdis with her Idira problem. God damn it. The game's already winning me over with its writing. Have you ever left the ship? We'll move on from this. Oh, I did once. And it was dreadful. That fucking figures. Could it be because you're so used to life on a ship that anything else feels like a fucking quandary to you? It felt like the massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall, and my bones would be crushed by the gravity. Vic just twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds. I see. Let us return to business. As you wish, Lord Captain. That will be all for now. I live to serve, Lord Captain. That was so sad, though. I actually felt bad for her when I read that. That is like... I'm not even that personally invested in your little relationship, and now even I'm feeling a little devastated hearing that you're devastated about your relationship with Idira. You two are apparently such good friends, and I only just heard about this, and now, because you told me this shit, I actually feel sad. I feel bad for you. That's terrible, okay? That's actually annoying that I already feel bad for a character when the only exposure I've had to a character is literally them talking about a problem. Okay, that's an interesting problem. Alright. and then they try to hide that under the veneer of them being all, you know, like mostly okay with it, but they're actually secretly devastated by it. And then the idea that we caught that and that it's actually something that is factual that we can register is terribly and honestly the saddest fucking thing that you could possibly read. It is awful. I feel bad for Vigdis. If I wasn't such a fucking pussy in real life, I'd probably do the same thing. Just be like, oh shit, I feel bad for this person. Like, if I actually was also, like, aware enough of the people around me to actually be able to pull from that type of shit, I probably would have a more annoying life, let's be honest. I'm not sure who to talk to. I don't know if I want to talk to anyone. Let's see what Abelard's up to.
Lord Captain.
Oh, he talks now. Abelard surveys you briskly but meticulously, as though he is inspecting you for shortcomings. Then he offers a courteous nod. Let's talk about things that may be useful to me as the rogue trader. I'd like to know more about the Seneschal. You may call me by my first name if you wish. I must take my leave until next time. You may call me by my first name if you wish.
I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
You know, we come from the same background, my guy. Trust me, if I'm willing to fucking, you know, like, shoot the shit and also get to know you on a personal level, and I made it this far in life, it's probably for a reason, right? Whatever. So let's talk about things that may be useful to me as a rogue trader.
A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Outline the situation in the Kronos Expanse for me. What do I need to know and keep in mind? What are the main players I need to be aware of in the Kronos Expanse? Conrad, our previous Astro Whispers. What can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next? These are all three pretty decent questions, but I think we already got the gist of the idea. But outline the situation in the Kronos Expanse for me. What do I need to know and keep in mind?
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
They have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted to them by the warrant to survive the leap in the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier. I see. I did not listen to that last part because I was still thinking about fucking Vigdis over there. I'm not kidding, man. That should actually hurt me a little bit. Just like, ugh. She's trying to downplay her own suffering. That's like the suffering in silence. I've had 5 years worth of experience with that. That cuts deep, man. That cuts deep. 5 years worth of experience of that shit, and that cuts very deep. I wouldn't want to wish that shit on anyone. Alright? I was stuck in my house for 5 fucking years. I know exactly how that feels. Ugh. Who are the main players I need to be aware of? I'm already aware vaguely of the main players. Conrad, our previous Master of Whispers. What can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight.
I agree. Don't worry, Abelard. We shall decorate the halls with his blood. At least we shall make a nice little portrait of him. If not for his likeness, but for the stain that shall remain from when we're done with him.
We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the von Valancius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake.
Yeah, but at the same time, can you really blame the guy? I mean, we're talking about a guy who completely, unwittingly, out of no fault of his own, really, kind of, isolated himself from being able to receive the succession line of the Valancius family dynasty and all that it inhabits, right? And I kind of get that. I kind of get that a little bit. As someone who has a family of a similar issue, or went through a similar issue, I kind of get that a little bit. Not to say that I am a part of a family that has been in Conrad's position, but I am certainly someone within the family who has been in a active member of this type of issue and discussion. And so I'm at least somewhat familiar, or if not vaguely aware, of where Conrad is coming from. But I do feel that Conrad is going about this the stupid way, as most people tend to. Even the people in my family were going about it in the stupid way. I mean, let's be honest also, they're kind of dickheads. Some of them are just unrecoverable as human beings. I'm just gonna say that. They, yeah. I mean, we're all technically fucked in the head. Not everyone in my family, just in general, humanity's kind of fucked in the head these days, but it's like, you know, there's some people with a very particular brand of fucked in the head that you can't really reconcile. And so you kind of have to just accept it, right? You just kind of have to accept it and move forward.
If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
En contraire, Abelard, I am dummy stupid. I am big boy stupid. I am the kind of stupid you only get when he spends most of his time digesting entertainment and media and gains no skills from it other than just being media savvy, right? Genre savvy. Alright? That's the level of dumb we're dealing with here. Alright? That's the level of stupid we are dealing with. Alright? I am not dummy stupid and very good in a very particular thing, like a fucking autist or something like that. No, 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 no. I am just dummy stupid. Just straight up dummy stupid. When I made it to the character screen of life, and I spec'd into half decent intelligence and almost max wisdom, you know what I chose to spend most of my background and character building on? Being fucking genre savvy. Like a fucking moron. Which requires at least a level of severe heightened intelligence that I did not spec into. I spec'd into wisdom instead of intelligence. And even then, I wouldn't even say that I'm all that intelligent nor wise. Though some people would argue that because you can actually recognize that actually makes you wiser than most. And it's just like, well, maybe so, but it's like, you know, I'm still fucking stupid. Nothing's gonna change that. Nothing's gonna change that. Nothing is gonna change that for as long as I shall live. I'm gonna continue to be stupid. The only hope that I have for my goddamn self, okay, as someone who works a shitty retail job and is currently making videos for people's enjoyment on the fucking internet, is, you know, finding something else that is a little bit more than, you know, what I'm currently doing. And if not that, just maybe find something that I'm actually good at, miraculously, just like, oh, I could just look at this thing, do this thing, it's like, oh, it's like it's easy to do as breathing, right? Or, you know, like, say that people find, let's say I get lucky, okay, and my videos get moderately, if not somewhat decently popular, right? What the fuck would I do with that? I don't fucking know. What would I do with that? I guess I just continue doing what I've always done, which is just play games, shoot the shit, and have fun. You know, maybe if I get popular enough, maybe I'll start streaming, right? Maybe if I get popular enough, maybe I'll start streaming. Maybe I'll fucking I'll play games for people's enjoyment. I'll talk to chat. We could shoot the shit about a bunch of other things in life. We could have drinking streams. We could just shoot the shit, get drunk, and just make merry with like thousands of viewers. You know, like it could be all kinds of things. I'm not really much of a drinking person, but you know, like we could do just about anything, right? The whole point, though, that I want to do with this channel and what I want to do as a content creator, all right, is to expose people to things that they don't usually get exposed to. You know, good things, you know, fun things, cool things that they've never seen before, interesting little factoids here and there, and also just, you know, just chill out and relax. You know, just have a little bit of fun. Just have a little bit of time to yourself, just relaxing, having fun, shooting the shit, among other things. I don't think I'm ever going to build a community or really, like, try to manage a fucking community. I don't think I'm going to go that far, but, you know, like, if you come to my channel, at the very least, you could at least come to this channel with the hope of maybe just, you know, being mostly accepted. At the very least, I would hope so. And that the only person you have to contend with is me. You don't even have to talk to the other fucking weirdos in chat. You could just speak to me. You could just talk. You know, you could just listen to what I have to say, or, you know, just nod in agreement to yourself among other things. You know, like, you don't have to literally talk to people. And that's probably the best part about the internet, is like, you don't have to actually deal with people. You are simultaneously on the internet the most sociable person there is, but at the same time, you are also the most protected against social interaction. It is the most amazing thing when you really think about it. We have at the palm of our hands and in the comfort of our own homes a means and device of which we can engage with public discourse without actually engaging with it. That's fucking phenomenal. And nobody really understands that. It's one of the reasons why I like to go. Why back in the day I wanted to go and look around on internet forums and really get to know and understand certain topics. It's one of the reasons why I always use the internet to really get a digest of what people are like or what people are doing these days, and where I get how people view the world as well, among other things, right? It's because you can only understand so much about certain things from personal experience as well as learning from other people. But it's another thing when you actually go and see the discourse, right? When you actually go and see the people who gather in a massive, just conglomerate amalgamation of things and shit. And it's just like they all regurgitate similar things, but from different points of views and talking points, right? It's a very interesting sort of dynamic. It's a very interesting sort of perspective and a means you have at the palm of your hands. And I love that. You know, it's one of the reasons why I found writing to be so easy. It's because, well, I'm genre savvy, but how do I write believable characters? Well, I go and I see what people like and what people don't like, what is believable, what isn't believable. What is the best way to write this particular genre? And then you go and you actually research what people like about these genres, and also what are the things that people tend to gravitate towards and what people tend to discuss online. And it's actually fucking phenomenal, just the amount of resources you have at your disposal. You know, like, for example, I'm not very savvy on romance, but I immediately went to go and see what, you know, like, how to write that genre better. And the first thing I did was, well, let's go look at the internet and see what the internet has to say. And also, let me just go ahead and watch some chick flicks here and there. You know, that might be enlightening enough as well. And unanimously, there are definitely a lot of interesting things you can pull from that sort of shit. You know? I also became intimately familiar with how, you know, like, not only how, you know, not only guys are portrayed in those fucking things, good God, they're fucking awful, but anyways, not only do you become aware of those things, but when you also look at the actual discourse around dating today, it's like, actual dating, it's like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of interesting things we could pull from both the fantasy and the reality, right? And then you could probably write that into something truly astonishing. You know? I was going to attempt to do that, and I didn't really make it that far. But, I definitely have interest in wanting to do that. Me and a friend of mine also thought about maybe, like, making a game or something. And we still are probably thinking about it. We're still wanting to do that. To a degree, but I don't know if we'll have the time nor the patience to do it. And I mean, certainly I don't think I do. And I don't know if I'll be able to pick up the programming skills necessary for it, but especially when it's just two fucking people. But, you know, like, that's neither here or there. Anyways, I'm getting lost in my own life. Let's just move on. No, we've talked enough.
Lord Captain.
Let's move on. This is a CRPG, for God's sake. We cannot be side-questing and digressing this hard. I don't think there's anything else here, right? Damn, he runs fast. Waste no fucking time. To another compartment. Void Ship Shrine. Astropathic Chapel. Both are interesting. Let's go take a look at the chapel. Choose party members. You can have up to 5 party members? That's unique for an RPG. Maybe you get like the 1 or 2 or the occasional 4 here and there, but 5? And mind you, the 4 is usually including yourself. The 5? Including yourself, that makes up to 6? That's a little, it's a little unique. Unless there is a limit that just hasn't been met because we already have a full squad. And we haven't gotten the one extra party member who actually jumps that up, but that's a little unique. Hey, what's this? Remain vigilant. Check the throne's pacifying safety switch before activation. Oh, here we go.
The premonition runs true.
The machine uses its many quills to commit the astropath's whispers to paper and some other shit. Chapel servant. I'm assuming there's something down here, brother. Oh, what's this? Underneath the grill, you can see enormous outlines of formidable machines in a greenish haze. This must be some type of Omnissiah shrine or something, right? A machine shrine? Zachary Wise. Choir master Zachary Wise, a tall old man in a long green robe, stands motionless in front of a cogitator. The closer you approach, the clearer you can hear his continuous, unintelligible whisper. You are about to call his name when he falls silent sharply and turns toward you first. Lord Captain. A visit from the rogue trader is an honor for us. Like other astropaths at the chapel, the choir master's eyes are bandaged over with time-worn scrolls of sacred manuscripts. Nevertheless, you cannot shake the feeling that his otherworldly glowing haze is studying you keenly. How can I be of use, your lordship? Lore Imperium test succeeded. Sanctioning is a brutal procedure, one which robs every astropath of the gift of sight, but in return, they gain a new kind of vision that allows them to see what ordinary people cannot. Gain 28 experience. Tell me about the astropathic choir. Of course, Lord Captain. Is there something specific you would like to know? Point to the mechanical drum. What is this device? It is a sacred compiler that helps us record, store, and to an extent, unriddle messages. The astropaths first receive these messages in the form of muddled images, dictating what they see to the machine, which logs their every word from the reels of the receivers on the ceiling. The machine recorded words are routed through lines under the floor into transcribers. And then the thesaurus. Ah, I don't know why they made that such a fucking word. I never understand the English language and their ability, especially Old English related words. It's like Old English is weird. Anyways, the thesaurus core. This core is the most important part of the mechanism, as it contains a vast catalog of various symbols and the methods of their interpretation. The compiler matches the images in the message against this data and forwards the results to the central cogitator and myself, so that I can begin the ritual of decoding. I know of no other choir that possesses so wise a mechanism, and I praise the God Emperor for its existence. However, while the compiler hastens the extraction of intelligible meaning from perplexing imagery, an astropath must still open their mind to interpretation, which is no less perilous than the rites of receiving or sending an astropathic message. Interesting. So it's coded messages. It's like military code, right? If your machine knows the meaning of the symbols, why can't it decode the message itself? Regrettably for us all, your lordship, astropathic messages are not ciphered dispatches, but rather psychic imprints containing information. Only an astropath can read the entirety of something created through the medium of the warp. Furthermore, as messages pass through the immaterium, they might become distorted by malevolent intent. It falls to your servants alone to shield their minds with faith and separate the true meaning from the influence of the ruinous powers. So if you wanted to hide certain information from me, you could. Wise face twists into a bitter grimace. My duty is to shield you from the monstrous communications that filter through the warp. The screams of the Emperor's loyal servants, centuries dead by now, the nightmarish, maddening images of the Sea of Souls, the cursed symbols that cause astropaths to convulse in violent fits of frenzy, the messages from abominations in search of weak minds to devour. Concealing all of that from you is my duty. I feel like if I didn't read that with a little bit of emphasis, I wouldn't get the actual meaning, right? How does one become an astropath? We were all part of the Imperial Tithy once. Psychers delivered to Terra on the black ships, but only a few of the candidates had what it took to study astropathy. Fewer still successfully completed the grueling training to be eligible for soul binding, and almost none survived in the initiation. I'm kind of vaguely aware of the black ships, but let's go ahead and read its short definition. The dreadful Imperial void ships that transport psychers given up by the numerous worlds as part of their tithy to the Imperium. In other words, the black ships is what they use to haul away the psychers who will eventually either serve the Imperium in some fashion if they prove themselves to be too indispensable enough, or they are essentially tallied up and lined up as more and more psychers to feed to the God Emperor on his golden ass throne. So there you go. And mind you, they have to sacrifice 1,000 of these motherfuckers, so on the daily, so they need to get their supply somewhere. He throws his head back. We were given the privilege to behold the Emperor's light, a light flawless and searing. A pious smile visits his lips. That changes you. It wounds you irreparably. It takes your eyesight, but in exchange, you commune with greatness. His presence in our souls fortifies them as we stand against malicious powers. After the ritual, an astropath is assigned their position. At this or that adeptus, an astropathic relay, or a ship, more often than not, our first place of service is also our last. If something happens to your choir, where can I find new astropaths? That's a fucking question. Say if I need to expunge all of you, what will happen if I need to find another one of you? The expression on his wrinkled face grows even more serious. It would be more on point to say when something happens. The Emperor's blessing protects us from the warp's various influences. However, there are horrors dwelling in the void for which even his defense would be no obstacle, especially if one spends as much time in their company as we do. There is only one way to procure astropaths, and that is through the Adeptus Administratum. Luck permitting, unattached astropaths from the sector will be posted to the ship. Ones who, for whatever reason, have lost their place of service. Failing that, the request will go to Terra, and we will have to wait a long time. That said, there are other options. Blasphemous, forbidden options. Acquire Master Grimaces. Unsanctioned psychers. Unprotected and broken souls who seldom live past their first few seances. But even those would do, should the God Emperor put our souls through severe trials. And judging by how rapid the warp has been of late, by the number of dead astropaths, those trials will be upon us sooner than our prayers could reach Terra. I know a couple of places where you could get new astropaths. Ideer grins maliciously. That's, of course, if you don't insist on them being all classy and proper like this fried-eyed bunch. I want to discuss other topics. I am listening carefully, Lord Captain. That loud noise inside the chapel, does it not bother you? On the contrary, Lord Captain, it is a mental focusing technique used by your flagship's choir. One that I invented myself. This music was written by an astropath. What my charges and I hear in it is not what ordinary people hear. Its true depth and beauty cannot be fathomed without the Emperor's blessing. The music protects our minds from the rudimentary thoughts, purifies and sharpens them. But above all else, it serves as a beacon of sorts amid the tumultuous sea of souls, a thread to lead us home from the deadly maze. We will speak later, Choir Master. I have business to attend to. Goodbye, Your Lordship. Just the unceremonious, I must go. I should go. Cornelius, who the fuck are you, Commander Shepard? Get your shit together. Goodbye, Your Lordship. The Choir Master follows you with his otherworldly glowing gaze as you leave, then turns back to the cogitator. We are fucking off. An endless stream of symbols fills the paper. A deceased navigator organ repurposed for the Choir Master's needs. Here is where process messages converge, among other stupid shit. Sigma AR-87. Do I want to know what he's up to? I don't think I care, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of need to move on. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Oh. Lord Captain's quarters. Oh, now we can go to other places. Let's go to the shrine.
What do we have here?
A power maul rests inside the glass. The inscription on the reliquary reads, I am Wrath, I am the cleansing. Whoever wields me walks in the footsteps of Furia. Fascinating. Confessor Adalbert. What a fucking name. I'm assuming that the statue in the background is of the God Emperor himself. Or someone high up in the ecclesiarchy. Confessor Aldebert. A plump, rosy-cheeked old man is lighting candles, taking his time with each. Glints of fire dance on his heavy golden aquila, and in his sky-blue eyes as he addresses you, smiling. The Emperor protects. Your Lordship, are you here to pray, or have mundane matters brought you to me? There is an incredibly profound quality to his voice, and he speaks with mesmerizing timbre. You know, I was kind of going for that, actually, unintentionally. Open the reliquary with a power maul. I wish to wield it myself. I don't know if I want to do that. You are positively beaming with joy. A priest like you is a rare sight. Adalbert laughs good-naturedly. A fair observation. Everyone knows that the clergy must maintain a stern appearance to inspire fear and an awe in their flock. His mirth fades, giving way to a pensive gravitas. The truth is that my clan and I experience great hardship. I cannot explain how it is I am standing before you now, except by his will. How could one be anything but joyful, knowing they were saved by the Emperor? What happened to your clan? I was scarcely more than a child when the malady struck our cabins. When the malady struck our cabins, I'm assuming, first would come the fever. Then the unlucky victim would start retching blood. After that, they would melt away like a candle. Only the youngest survived, myself among them. He smiles feebly. But now my family's growing, and I am grateful for each new life that replaces one lost. Still, your gentle manner may adversely affect your flock's faith. An accurate observation from a lord who knows the importance of a strong faith on his ship. The gentleness you speak of is skin deep on the inside. My faith and spirit are pure adamantine. Decades instructing the crew and fighting the dangers of the void and the warp have required nothing less. My resolve in the face of the monstrous threats we face must always be 100-fold firmer than that of my flock. Of course, your lordship. I would like to hear the Imperium's tenets from you. In a voice brimming with solemnity, Adalbert begins. Every man and woman has their place in the order he created, and this order must be followed, and the will of one's superiors obeyed. Beware of witches, for they have been stained by the warp. Persecute mutants, for they are perversions of the human form, and hate the accursed Xenos. And the witches he's referring to in this context are basically just psychers. Apostate psychers, basically. The Xenos are aliens, races like, you know, the Eldar and shit. We have some interesting responses here. Imperial Creed prescribes being wary of psychers, but the Imperium needs them. The Ecclesiarchy tells us to persecute mutants, but an exception was made for navigators. The Emperor is known as the Omnissiah. They have their own form of worship. Do they truly share our beliefs? These are all good questions. The Imperial Creed, let's go through all of it. I actually want to hear what the fucking mouthpiece of the Ecclesiarch would actually say about all of these things. I'm actually curious. Let's get into the lore, shall we? The Imperial Creed prescribes being weary of psychers, but the Imperium needs them. You are right. Without the astropaths, we are deaf and blind, and there are many other psychers laboring for the good of humanity. That is their place within the Emperor's design, but only those among them who accept his light and have been authorized. For once in your life, you could just admit that it doesn't take a ton calloused from prayer to handle the warp's dangers. The Ecclesiarchy tells us to persecute mutants, but an exception was made for navigators? The novice nobilites are different from most humans, but the differences are a blessing. They are noble servants of the Imperium who help humanity expand its galactic domain Do you not see that as a higher purpose that pleases the Emperor? Among the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Emperor is known as the Omnissiah. They have their own form of worship. Do they truly share our beliefs? Most certainly. Different likenesses of the Emperor and ways of worshipping him can be found across the Imperium's worlds, but we all believe in the one. Come to think of it, my warrant entitles me to violate the Imperial Creed in many ways. Violate? Those are not to be conceived of as violations. A rogue trader's privileges come with a duty. The duty to expand the bounds of human influence. If the rogue trader must take responsibility for unorthodox solutions or actions in the course of performing that duty, then so be it. It seems there are more holes in the Imperium's religion than parasites on a Grox. That's a fucking thing to say. I'm gonna say it. You forget yourself, Cornelius. If Argentia's glare could burn, you would be a handful of ash by then. Not even a rogue traitor is allowed to blaspheme against the holy faith. Adalbert clutches his chest and exclaims in a fearful voice, "For the sake of your own soul's salvation, this conversation is over." I swung too hard, and now Argenta thinks I'm a blasphemer. And Adalbert is like, "For the sake of your own purity, I must object to this conversation." I must divorce myself from this conversation. I must divorce you from this line of thinking. Jesus Christ. That was great. Oh, man. That was good. That was fucking worth it. After hearing this, I will have to spend no less than 3 watches praying for your lordship. Alright. Wielding whatever the fuck this is will have to come later. God, that was funny. That was so worth it. Alright. We're out of here. We're out of here. Alright. Lord Captain's quarters, I guess? Wait, this is the bridge. This is my quarters. Wait, what is my quarters, actually? Is it Theodora's? You know, I wouldn't be fucking surprised that they just cleaned it up a bit. Oh, wait, never mind. I got a portrait of Theodora in my room. I don't know if I like that. I like to be reminded of the dead. The position of the pieces on the board suggests that this game of Regicide was interrupted. The winner was never determined. The glinting of the displayed weapons is mesmerizing. You have never seen many of these articles before. The light glinting off the polished skull of some unknown Xeno makes it seem like the bony face is mocking you. Ah, this is the DLC weapons. Yes, I would like them all, actually. Let me see here. Laser pistol. Heirloom auto pistol. I don't need the auto pistol, but I will take it, though. Blast wave. What the fuck is that? I don't know what it is, but it does a lot of that's a lot of damage. The bookshelves are packed with ancient books, piles of paper, and tomes, many of which look rather worn. I see we're still in the warp. Vaults. Lord Captain's personal cogitator. Shrine of Remembrance. Oh, are these all the dead people on the ship? Oh my god. That is hilarious. 495 pages of just dead people. Holy shit. I can even search them up. Who has the time to do this? Oh. Nothing found. Fuck you. Don't tell me I need to capitalize it. Wait. Animal fire? Wait a minute. Is this actually a log of the people who died in the service of the ship, or is this just a log of players who have played the game? I don't know. Wait, that then begs the question, could I find myself in here? Bryn Cornelius. That ain't me. Is there no one else? What's the point of the Shrine of Remembrance? The ticking of the clock is too quiet for its bulky size. Nothing in the vault. Oh. It's a two-handed weapon. Is this a shotgun? Solid projectile, not a las gun. Yeah, it's a shotgun. Push targets 3 cells away, even if the shot misses. I think this would be useful for my guy here. And also, having dual weapons does not work for you. At all. Very unfortunate. As that is. Maybe if I could find another weapon for you, but... otherwise, there's no way that's going to work out for you. I will give you a gun, though. That way you have at least more versatility in combat. Okay, moving on. Nope. Yes. If I had known that ahead of time. Link your account. To what? Link my account to what? We're out of here. To the Void Ship Bridge. So this is how you get to the bridge. Alright, let's go take a look at the map. Sister or what the hell? Oh, okay. Just loading the star map, I guess. Jesus. Okay, the events of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader take place in a vast region of space known as the Coronis Expanse. This sector is composed of numerous star systems, of many of which you will get a chance to visit. You will find yourself scouring the void in search of routes leading to new, uncharted systems, discovering more routes as you explore the expanse. What you see before you is the map of one such system. Yes, I will speed through this, because all I've been doing is just running around on my ship for 2 fucking hours straight. You know, might as well touch down on a planet here at some point. Each star system contains objects you can interact with. Such as objects are marked as points of interest. Move your ship to a point of interest, then click a left mouse button on it to initiate the event or open the planet view. Great! Kellogg's. They're great! I know, I need to shut the fuck up now. I know, I need to shut the fuck up now. Okay, so Rykar Minoris is over there, Rykar Majoris is over here, scan is required. That is... Visit the Rykardiphilia, the prison planetoid. Oh, so this is the prison planetoid. You know, it's closer... I don't see where I can go to... Oh, well... Lord Captain, Astropathic Choir Master Zachary Wise is asking to speak with you via private channel. Greetings, your lordship. I can repeat that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immaterium in the hope of picking up voices from the Dynasty ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's tumult, something is screaming. This scream is driving your choir mad until it stops. We have no hope of contacting any of the Dynasty worlds. It is coming from the Rykard System's Astropathic Station. We are going to pay a visit to that station anyways. Thank you, your lordship! It's coming from the Astropathic Station, something, something... Oh, is this it? Do I want to go there, or do I want to go here? I mean, I'll go here. I'm pretty sure everything here is designed to around my level anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. The Astropathic Station is dead ahead of the Void Ship. It is motionless. There is lifeless silence across its Vox frequencies. Its lights are out. Even those who have no warp sensitivity can feel the presence of death. It is here, lurking in the shadows. All of this makes reading the reports of the ship's astropaths, who claim to be hearing an incessant ghostly howl emanating from the station, all the more disturbing. Contact the station by Vox. The station is not responding. Perhaps there is no one left who could respond. Deploy a scouting team. The enforcers offered their prayers and proceeded to enter the uncanny station. What they saw inside was monstrous. Astropaths upon their thrones, not quite there, not quite here, not quite now, smudged as it were across time. Servants reliving their horrible deaths again and again, only to be reborn out of the ashes and blood into more agony. Moments later, the warp manifested itself here, twisting the very nature of its existence. The main hall was covered in a crust of psychic ice. A green-robed blind old man sat motionless upon a tall throne. He was quite literally embedded in the ice, yet he was still alive and screaming. Lore of the Warp by Idira. Send Zachary Wise to the station with a squad of bodyguards. Test succeeded. Choir Master Wise boarded the station in person and proceeded to the choir's hall. He stood silently for hours in front of a man frozen in ice. and held a telepathic conversation with him. Gained 28 experience. Then Master Wise offered a prayer to the God Emperor, and the unfortunate man passed away. Upon returning to the ship, Wise reverently Upon returning to the ship, Wise reverently presented the Lord Captain with a grim trophy, the late choir master's amulet taken from his frozen body after his death, the Nile of Nightmares. If worn by a psyker, the wearer gains immunity to the horrors of the warp effect. 15% jewelry cargo. I guess I'm getting that to Adira. The psychic shriek carrying across the Immaterium has been silenced, but this has brought the crew no relief. A chilling realization came to the astropaths when they discovered that the cry was masking a different sound. One even more terrifying and surreal. It was the melody of a cataclysm born from a warp storm of titanic power, so intense that the entire expanse must be able to hear it. It muffles astropathic messages and crawls into psychers' minds, evoking everywhere the same image, a dark, gaping, beastly mouth, cleaving the universe in two. Now that the mad choir master has finally stopped screaming. The song of the Immaterium has reached the Rogue Trader's void ship too. Fucking fascinating. Order the station to be explored, burn everything, seal the station, dooming its ghostly inhabitants to an eternity of suffering. Jesus. We're gonna order the station to be explored. A brief and chilling chronicle of the station's doom was found in the scribe's records. A warp disturbance of monstrous proportion wiped out half of the choir at once, turning the astropaths into living portals through which torrents of Immaterium's energies poured out. Those who lasted longer bellowed and howled about a black rift that had split the universe in two before and after, and darkness that would devour the Astronomicon's light. Burn everything. Void torpedoes shatter the fragile station. One can only hope that the unfortunate souls captured by the warp have perished along with their home. That is the hope. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I did it. Unidentified void ship. It's interesting that there are planetary systems in the warp. Begin scan. Alright, let's go take a look at the prison, shall we? This is going to be interesting. Game auto-saved.
Repentance in prison is but a weak shadow of a true transformation of the soul. Only in battle, by abjuring the flesh and cloaking the soul in flame, can one earn absolution.
Sometimes it suits the Imperium's functionaries to have a criminal spend the rest of his days toiling in a pit, working for the good of the righteous, until his last breath.
What a peculiar thing.
About to pause. Affirmative, escort. Everything is calm on my end, but carry out. The young woman stares at you, adjusting her uniform nervously. Your lordship, 1,000 pardons if I addressed you improperly. Have you come on behalf of Governor Medine? Or are you here on other business? If it's the latter, you ought to know that there's been a riot at the local prison. It's quite dangerous here. No. I am the rogue trader Cornelius von Valencius. Introduce yourself. Bow before the illustrious Cornelius von Valencius. Who am I, Fulgrim? Tell me about this planetoid. I am the rogue trader Cornelius von Valencius. Now introduce yourself. At once, sir. The woman stands at attention. Captain Raquil Vakari, servant of the House Winterscale, and the pilot of this shuttle. It is an honor to be greeting His Lordship von Valencius. Tell me about this planetoid. The only settlement on Rykati Philia is a penal colony. The prisoners work in the mines and the doomed quarries. They mine sulfur, ceram dust, and sand, which is then melted down. Rather nondescript place, or so it was, prior to current events. What happened here? There's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anathagon Casteglia? Anathagon de Casteglia. Is that how you say that? Anathagon de Casteglia. Jesus Christ, the naming conventions in 40k. He has allied himself with a rabble that he himself was supposed to watch, and declared Rykad Philia to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. I came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Yvain Winterscale, son of Caligo's Winterscales. Rogue trader, vanquisher of Xenos, forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity. She details enunciating every word of her overlord's title. I guess we're in fucking China right now. Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak to the warden personally. The Honorable Lord means to put an end to this lawless treason. He and his escort left to meet with the insurgents, while I was ordered to await their return. He went to Rykad Philia as soon as he could. Oh, I see. Another interesting decision. I'm glad the game is keeping track of these things, because it means that choices do fucking matter to some extent. And I love it when games do that. Yvain. Abelard mutters, stroking his beard. One of his distant younger offspring, yes? That's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. The warden himself is spearheading this riot? Yes, she bites her lip. No one expected this. Master Castiglia is a nobleman from a respected governor house and a vassal to the House Winterscale. All of a sudden, he proclaimed that Rykati Philia was now his personal domain, that the prisoners were his subjects, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It's pure heresy. And I take it they're looking forward to a diet of sand and gravel? What kind of madman would start a revolt on a barren rock? Why would young Winterscale have felt the need to parley with a dissident? She sighs quietly. It's a personal matter. Master Castiglia, the seditious warden, is Lord Yvain's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and so he rushed here without delay in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses. No doubt. The first Winterscale in my memory who prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash. She smiles slightly. You're quite right. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. If he is determined to save his friend, he will try to do so no matter what obstacle gets in his way. I'm looking for a man by the name of Heinrich von Kallax. Is he here, perhaps? Unless it's one of the prisoners or guards, then it seems unlikely. There are no shuttles in working order other than yours and mine. There is nothing else anyone could have used to reach this place. Is there anything else I should be apprised of before I set out? Some of the rebels have holed up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your lordship. Lord Winterscale's guards mined the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to the shuttle. I have no more questions. You may excuse yourself, pilot. The woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, Your lordship, if I may have a minute of your time, wouldn't ever have dared to trouble you with a personal matter. But the situation. In any case, have you been to the capital of Rykod Minoris yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there. A communications officer by the name of Jasper. What is your relationship to this man? I have not yet been to Rykod Minoris. I know nothing of the officer's fate. I have not been to Rykod Minoris and know nothing of this officer's fate. That's a shame. May the Emperor keep that fool from harm. Thank you for your time, your lordship. I don't dare delay you any further. Good luck to you, your lordship. I will contact Lord Yvain's party over Vox and inform them of your coming. There's a trap ahead. Order your characters to disable it. If a character enters a trapped area or fails to do the test to disarm it, the trap will trigger, dealing damage and inflicting injuries on all characters within its area of effect. Sometimes you will see a trap marked with a red area and a connecting dotted line. This line leads to the mechanism that controls the trap. Hover your cursor over the mechanism. If the cursor changes to a trap icon, the trap can be disarmed by interacting with the mechanism. Left click on the mechanism to attempt the disarm test. If you have your entire party selected, the character with the highest relevant skill score will go to disarm the trap. If a trap is marked with a red area without a dotted line, simply approach the trap and click on it to attempt the disarm test. Different skills are used to disarm different types of traps. Which all sounds very confusing. Very confusing. Ah, I see. This is the mechanism. Argenta would be the one who would know how to do that.
Keep
The
your
Emperor
wits about
favors
you.
me today.
This guard post has been vacant for a long time. There's a layer of dust on every surface. What are we about to walk into? Oh boy.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Oh, that's what the pause is for. I was wondering why there was a fucking pause.
Abelard, I've been meaning to ask, how are you keeping it together so well? Don't you ever feel awful without her?
Enough, Tlus. We have a duty to the new rogue trader. You would do well to focus on that. If you keep your mind busy, you will have less opportunity to fill it with awful things.
He's not wrong. The remains of a meal, one far too lavish for even a high world, let alone a prison colony. A long string of names extends beneath the heading, Top Quarry Workers of the Cycle. I suppose even in this fucked up world, there has to be somebody who can do this shit.
Will endure.
Okay. I was asking too much to hope that she would just navigate around that. Prison Diary of Adi Shan. Part 1. Grogshite, why me? Why? I missed my title payment 12 years ago. 12 years! The inspector's rig got lost somewhere in the bowels of the planetary administratum and was lying there this whole time, but they made sure to remember to tack on the fines every month. By the time they found the blasted paper and finally informed me the total sum was so obscene it would take 3 generations of my descendants, if I had any, to pay it off. My fate was sealed. Trial! Sentence! Prison! Because of some daft rotter who shoved my paper in the wrong box. To be fair, I think I got off pretty easy. My bed in the barracks is about as haired as that slabo rockfreet I've got at home. Working in the quarry isn't much tougher than my old job. And the rules. And the rules. Boy, take me, that old sod that governs Rykod Minoris is a bloody sadist by comparison. It's a strange old place. I haven't been beaten once yet. The guards bark orders all the time, but they never hit us. They also got this kind of inner circle of special chosen prisoners. They optimatum, they call it. The optimatum, they call it. If you can get in, the Emperor as my witness, you can get an actual day off. They let you out of your cell and into the yard by the big barracks, and I tell you what, they let you rest there and feed you better than whatever swill they're giving us in the canteen. They told me it's to improve our motivation and all that, to foster a stronger desire to reform, and become a worthy servant of the Imperium once more, but I know it for what it is. Just a club for the Warden's favorites. The same story as everywhere else. Suck up to the people in power and get some swanky perks. They say the whole thing was the Warden's idea. Funny man, our Warden. He looks more noble than nobility itself. Tall, groomed, teeth even, eyes burning, boots so polished you can see yourself when you move to lick 'em. But that nutter doesn't much want people licking his boots. He walks around looking like he's deep in thoughts, all right, with only a couple of guards at his side. And he sometimes, if you can believe it, talks to prisoners. What's your name? He asks. He asks them all quiet-like. Why were you condemned? Do you feel remorse? He never even yells at no one, never orders them to have them flogged. Instead, he dolers rewards out to the special ones, keeps telling us things like how we should strive to make society believe in us again. Uh-huh. Whatever you say, Master Warden. Starting tomorrow, I'll be trying to join these optimates of yours. I'm stuck in here till the day I die. And that means no return to society for me, but with the Emperor's help, I might just join the ranks of the local elite. So, either our Warden is playing an interesting game, or he's actually a good person. Imagine that.
Is there money to be made?
Would you look at that?
It's a good thing it does do that pause, because my god, would that be annoying.
I'm restless.
So what does this do? Fresh injury. An injury received from a trap or sudden large damage. If not removed with a medkit, it will turn into an old injury. Too many injuries reduce the character's resolve and causes trauma. Fine.
Injuries will not slow me.
Scraps of typical prison food, repulsive to the senses.
Duty prevails.
Duty prevails. Alright, how do I auto-select everybody again? What was that? Was that F3? No, that was F1? No. Oh, okay, that's what that is.
That is not the Emperor's will.
Was it F5? That's quick save. I'm trying to remember. F. Center. Character sheet. That's to change weapons. I'll just go into the menu. Highlight objects. Map. Quick saving. Stopping. Hold position. That's pretty cool. F11 screenshot. Control A. That works, actually. Alright. Alrighty. Let's move on. The list is faded and the names are barely legible. Oh.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Let the blood flow!
In combat, you can significantly increase the animation speed of your enemies and allies. To do so, hold the assigned key, space, by default. In this setting, you can enable this option to speed up the animations automatically or disable it. You have been ambushed. The battle begins. Ah, I see. So I actually can't give them positions, alright? Oh, okay. Now I can. Half cover, half cover. Move you here. Oh, no. I'm already in combat. Okay, so yeah. I have to do it this way. And then from there, let's try shooting at them. I don't know if I want to try shooting at them with this. Better accuracy if I just try to do it one at a time. Alright, I'll just try doing it one at a time.
Let's make some opportunities.
All right.
On it. Another enemy down. My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
This ability cannot be used again. Good to know. All right. Hmm.
I know what is to come.
Probably could use chain lightning on them, but I'll just stick with that for now.
Anything else?
Just a minor setback.
What just happened? Hang on. I need to look at that. What happened? Agility group resistance test required. Uses ability forewarning on Abelard. Abelard forewarning effect applied. Earth protest perils of the warp. Deals 1 direct damage. Oh, was it because of this? The veil degradation? Okay, maybe that's what it was. Okay, I think I understand what happened now. That must have been what happened. My bad, everybody. We'll go ahead and just leave it there then.
I serve the ruinous powers. It's nothing. I bring ruin.
Jesus. I guess she's down for 1 turn. Son of a bitch. Let's see.
At your beck and call, reduced to dust.
There's no way I can shoot them from here. I'll move here. Endure for 1 round, a Navy officer. Yeah.
It will be done.
I serve the ruinous powers!
I'm here, maggot.
Chaos guides me.
They're using hit and run tactics.
Out of my way!
I've suffered worse.
Ah!
Okay, let's see here. If I move here and then try shooting this guy, 70% chance to hit, but I'll take it, in all honesty.
I don't need luck. I have strategy.
God damn it. Alright. You know what? Commander of their allies at the end of the commander's next turn. I'll do it. Alright, let's see here. I would need to see them, huh? So if I were to move here and then use it. God damn it. Alright. Here? No. Ah, what annoyance. What an annoyance. What about if I moved here? And then got this guy. Would it siphon from him to others? No, it won't. But it will hit that guy. Alright, well, for the sake of being able to just hit these assholes, I'm just gonna move nowhere. It's just... No, wait, hang on, I'm still there. Alright. What about this one? Can't analyze them. This guy's a grenader. I think I should probably kill him first. Alright, fine. Maybe I will go after this guy first.
Cover me! Will do. Anything else?
Alright, she's up now. Go ahead and move you here.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Nope, even less of a chance. I'd rather try and hit someone who I actually have a chance at hitting.
Eradicated!
13% chance of hitting? Now that's just sad. 15% chance of hitting? You know what? I'll fucking take it. I'll fucking take it. Alright, not bad.
Pain and duty go hand in hand. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
High momentum.
All right. Real up close and personal now.
Indeed.
Nice. All right. No limit on melee weapon attacks on this turn. Fascinating.
We'll
I'm gonna do it.
The stars themselves.
All right. Move you here. Let's see, I'll finish him off.
My place is at the fore. I took care of this one. Victory is imminent. It will be done.
Bitch. Damn it.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
All right. Now I need to move in. %66% chance? I don't like those odds. I don't like these odds either. No. There we go.
I'll see to it personally.
Let's see, I'll move here. Well, that's an even better chance.
I am ready for whatever comes. You should have thought twice before crossing me. I'll make it happen.
Oh, you're such a dick.
On it. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Alright, there we go. So I already got that on. I guess I need to be able to see my character do that. Yep, alright. We only got one more enemy. Likeliness of me hitting that is not very high, but I'll take it.
Rejoice in battle!
Ugh, my ears are ringing.
I mean, it's point blank range. It should hit, but you know how this is. You know how it'd be.
Follow my lead.
This should kill him.
One fewer target.
There we go. That could have gone a little better, I will admit, but we make do. Alright, so this plot is getting a little crazier. So, we made it to the prison, a system, finally. And it turns out it's currently experiencing a riot. But it's by the warden himself. And from the sounds of it, this warden doesn't seem all that bad. So it makes you wonder, is he rebelling for, well, ruinous power reasons? Or is he rebelling because of, you know, he just feels sorry for the prisoners? Who can say? But we shall soon find out, as one of the Winter Scale, as one of the Winter Scale inheritors is apparently involved, so we'll probably get the download from him after we save his goofy ass. But anyways, I'm going to cut the episode here. It's been a bit of a, a trial and a half just to get to this point, just to get somewhere. But I had a bit of enjoyment digesting the lore, among other things. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching so far, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.